Hello guys, we are back with a new video of organic chemistry. In this video, we are going to discuss about the rules for IUPAC nomenclature. That by using these rules, how do we write the name of organic compound? So without wasting any time, let's get started. Okay, let's do the discussion how to write the name of any organic compound. We know we are having a general formula that is prefix plus suffix. Now what is prefix here? We know prefix represents itself as number of carbon atoms in a chain. Yes. And what about the suffix then? Suffix represents itself as the type of covalent bond carbon has in a chain. And it can be a single covalent bond, it can be double covalent bond, it can be triple covalent bond. Like we had discussed all these three types in our previous video, so you may check that video as well if you are not well aware about the covalent bond. Now let's do the discussion. If we are having single covalent bond, it should be written by "-ine", while if we are having double covalent bond, you will use the suffix "-ine", while if you are having triple covalent bond in the chain, it should be written by "-ine". Now let's talk about this prefix that is representing the number of carbon atoms. Here you may see we are having numbers, and in front of that their prefix are written. Like if you are having only one carbon in a chain, you are supposed to write meth, while if you are having two carbons, it should be eth. For 3, prop. For 4, but. For 5, pent. For 6, hex. For 7, hept. And for 8, now let's say if we are having 8 carbons in a chain, we would write oct for that. If we are having 9 carbons, we will use prefix non, while if we are having 10 carbons in a chain, it should be dec. So now hope you are okay with this general formula, that is prefix plus suffix, where prefix representing the number of carbons. For that we are going to use these such prefix by looking at the carbons, how many we have. Oppositely, suffix represent itself for the type of covalent bond, whether it's going to be single, double or triple. Now let's start about the rules. Now let's do the discussion of rule number 1. What it says identify the longest carbon chain, which is known as parent chain. Now let's identify it. So here we are having a compound. Let's count the carbons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we are having 6 carbons here. So what do? We have seen if we are having 6 carbons, we already know for 6 carbon we are going to use the prefix that is hex. So which prefix we are going to use for the 6 carbon? It should be hex. Now you may also see what type of bond they are having. They are having single covalent bond. Let me change the color. What type of covalent bond they are having? They are having single covalent bond, and we know single covalent bond is written by "-ine". So what is going to be its suffix? Its suffix is going to be "-ine". Now if I am going to write them together, hex plus "-ine", what it's going to be? It's going to be hexane. Now let's go to the rule number 2. So when we are coming to the rule number 2, we can see here what we are having. Rule number 2 says identify all the groups. Which groups? That are substituted group. Like in the previous video, we have discussed about the substituted group. When hydrocarbon or any other, you can say halogens or any other group comes on the place of hydrogen, that is known as substituted group. So we are supposed to very first identify these such groups those are present in a chain. So like in the first compound, we can see we are having only one substituted group. Yes, this is our substituted group here, which comes on the place of hydrogen. Similarly, in the second example, you can see you are having in total 2 substituted group. So how to write its name, that we will discuss after checking the next rule. Now let's go to the next rule. So what is the rule number 3? Now when we are coming to the rule number 3, what it says find the nearest position for the substituted group. Now you may see, as here you are having only one substituted group. We have seen this the same example before. So now if it has only one substituted group, from where we start the numbering? from where it comes nearest. Now let's go for counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you may see, if I am starting the numbering from the left hand side, I am getting this substituted group at third position. Okay, now let's do the numbering on opposite side. Let's say if I am just starting the numbering from this side, let's say from here, from right, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's completely fine. Again, I am getting the position of the substituted group, that is third. So for the first compound, it's okay. We are having the same position either from the left or from the right. Now let's go to the next. In the next, we know we are having in total 2 substituted group. Yes. So now let's see. Okay, if I will do the numbering from left hand side, it's going to be like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So from here you may see one of your substituted group is coming at third position while the other is coming at fifth position. Okay, now let's do the numbering in opposite direction. It means from the right hand side. So if I'm starting the numbering from this side, it's going to be like this. Now let's check the positions once again. So if I'm checking it from the right hand side, my substituted group, one of the substituted group got second position while the next is getting fourth position. So I would take this position, this numbering that I have done it from the right hand side, because from here I am getting it at the nearest side, or you can say nearest position. So how you can see in this, because the rule says we are supposed to find the nearest position for the substituted group. Like before we have seen, if I have done the numbering from the left hand side, I am getting the position at third and at fifth. While when I did the numbering from the right hand side, I got the position for these two substituted group. One is at second while the other is at fourth. So it would be better for me if I will take it from right hand side. Now let's do the discussion for the rule number 4. Okay, before going to the next rule, we are having few more discussion about these substituted group. Let's do the discussion of that. So here what we are having, it says if you are having, let's say if there are 2 or more groups, let's say we are having one group is here and the other group is here, okay, and the numbering is a tie, like we have seen in the previous example as well, that we are getting the third position for the substituted group, either we are counting it from the left or we are counting it from the right. But that's okay, because on that time we are having only one substituted group. But here we are having different substituted group. One substituted group has 2 carbons. Yes, this is of 2 carbon atoms, while our other substituted group has only 1 carbon. So they both are different. So what do? It comes with 1 carbon atom. Yes. So now if in that case the numbering get tie, what do? Then it suggests the group that comes first alphabetically gets the lowest number. Now you already know how to write the prefix. We have already discussed. If we are having, let's say, if I am having, let's check about once again, 1 carbon, then what should be its prefix? Its prefix is going to be meth. While if I am having 2 carbons, its prefix is going to be eth. Now you may see alphabetically which comes first. Of course, eth comes first. So what do? We have to do the numbering in this way, that our eth is going to be our substituted group which has 2 carbons. It's going to have the lowest number. Now let's do the discussion of the numbering. Now let's say if I am doing the numbering from the left, I am getting the position like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So with regard of this, what I am able to see, I can see my substituted group which has 2 carbons, it comes at third position. Okay. while the other substituted group which has only one carbon, which should be written by meth, it has fifth position. Okay, now let's say if we are doing the numbering from the opposite side, let's say we are doing it like this. From the right hand side, it's going to be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So by doing this, our eighth substituted group is going to have fifth position, while the meth one is going to have third position. Now let's read the rule once again. The rule says if the numbering is getting tie, you may see from, if you are doing the numbering from the left, you are getting one group at the third position. Okay, but if you are doing the numbering from the right, again you are getting one substituted group at the third position. Now in this case, you may see there is a tie in the substituted group. Now what we are supposed to do? We are supposed to do the numbering in that way that are alphabetically, the group which comes alphabetically first, that should get the lowest number. Now we have seen this group should be written by eth and this group should be written by meth. So we know already that eth comes first, e comes first. So the numbering should be as per that this group is going to have the lowest number. So what do? In this case, we are supposed to do the numbering with respect to left hand side, because if I am doing the numbering from the left hand side, I can see that our eth is going to get position 3. So hope you got this rule. Now let's go to the next. Okay, let's say if we are having two chains of the same length, what it means? It means if I am going to count the carbons from this side, the length is going to be same. That's going to be 10 carbons. And if you will count the carbons from the bottom, starting from here, again it's going to be have 10 carbons. So if the numbering you are doing in the different way, but you are getting the same number of carbons, then which chain you are supposed to pick that would have more branches. So we will see how it comes to us. Let's do the discussion. Now in this case, let's do the numbering for the first. These two are the same groups, but now we are going to do the numbering in this case in the longest chain, like starting from here, from right and just going to the left to count the carbons. And for this, we are going to do the numbering from the bottom to check that which one is going to have more branches, or you can say more substituted group. So let's do the discussion of that. So for that, let's start it from here. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. And here you may see you are having one substituted group with the carbon number 5 and the other substituted group with the carbon number 3. So in total you are having two substituted groups. Yes. So now let's count it for the bottom one. If I am starting the numbering from here, 1 2, let me change the color. It's going to be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Now let's see if I am doing the numbering in this way, why I have done the numbering from here to here. Do you know the reason? Let's say if we are going from this 1 2 3 4 5, if you will count it on this side, it's going to be 6 7 8 9. That's not going to be your longest chain. So you are looking for the longest chain. This is the reason we have just went on the other side. Now let's check it about the substituted group. So here you may see you are having one substituted group with the carbon number 3 on the left and the other substituted group with the carbon number 3 on the right, and you are having one more substituted group with the carbon number 5. Okay, so how many in total substituted group it has? It has in total 3 substituted group. So which one you are going to opt in this case? Of course the bottom one. Why? Because the rule says if you are having the chain with the same length, like the 10 carbon chain you have seen here, so if you are getting the chain with the same length of the carbons, you are supposed to take that one, choose that one which is going to have more branches, which is going to have more substituted group. Now let's do the discussion of rule number 4. Let's do the discussion of rule number 4. It says if the same group repeats itself over and again, then we are supposed to use di, tri, tetra. When do we use di? When it repeats itself 2 times. And when it repeats itself 3 times, we are supposed to write tri. If it repeats itself 4 times, we are supposed to write tetra. Okay, now you may see in the first group, in the first compound, here what you are having? You are having this group. It repeats itself 2 times, so it should be written by di. Okay, now let's check it about the second compound. In this, the same group CH3, it repeats itself 3 times, 1 2 3, so it should be written by tri. Okay, so this is about the first half of the rule number 4. Now let's check up about the second half. What they are saying? They are saying use a number to show where each group is located. So very first we have to use di, tri, tetra for the repeated ones. Yes. Second part says we have to tell their location as well. So let's say if I am doing the numbering from this side, 1 2 3 4 5 6, so I can easily see the position of this substituted group is second, while the position of this second substituted group is fourth. And similarly at the bottom, what we can see, if we will do the numbering for this 1 2 3 4 5 6, here you can see you are having the substituted group that are here with the second compound. They are having position, two of them are having position with the first carbon, while the second one is located at the second carbon. Yes, so here it should be written as 1 1 3 1 1 2 trimethyl, while the previous one is written as 2 4 dimethyl. Yes, so this is the way we are supposed to write, where you can see these 2 and 4 representing its location in the chain, while this di represent its repeating, how many time it repeated itself, and here again 1 1 2 repeated its position in the chain, while tri represent how many time it get repeated. Now let's go to the rule number 5. In this rule, what we have to do, this rule suggests us when we are supposed to write the final name, we have to list the groups. Which groups? Again, substituted group alphabetically. We have to skip the prefix. Before that, firstly we have to write these substituted group, those are already present with the chain. And then we have to use hyphens for the words and commas for the numbers. Now let's see what it means for us. So when we are writing the name for the first, it's pretty simple for you. It's going to be 1 2 3 4 5 6. So you know the basic rule. It says prefix plus suffix. Now as you know, it has 6 carbons. For 6 carbon, we know which prefix we are supposed to write, that is hex. So it's going to be hex. And what type of bond the carbons are having? They are having only single covalent bond. We know for single covalent bond, what do we write? We have to write "ene." So what I'm going to write there as a suffix, I will write "ene." So if I'm going to write them together, what it's going to be? It's going to be written as hexane. So hope you got it. Now let's go to the next. In the next, when we are going to do it, firstly we have to identify what? We have to identify our substituted groups. Yes, so we are having 2 substituted group. Now if we are just reminding our rules, the rule says we have to do the numbering from where you can give the position to the substituted group at nearest locatant, or you can set nearest position your substituted group will get. Now in this, again, what you can do, you know, here you are having only 1 carbon as a substituted group. It should be written as methyl. Now how many times this methyl come to you? It's coming 2 times. Yes, if it's coming 2 times, you know what it's going to be written. If it's coming 2 times, it's going to be written as di. So let's write its name. What it's going to be? It's going to be 2 4 now dimethyl, because we are having methyl 2 times in this chain at the location of 2 and 4. Now let's see again the prefix for it. Again it is 6 carbons, so it should be hex. Okay, and then what type of bond the carbons are having? Again they are having single covalent bond. They are having only single bond in between of carbons, so it's going to be written as ene. So it will become 2,4 dimethyl hexane in this case. Now let's go to the next. So when we are discussing the next, again you have to find very first the substituted group. Again you are having 2 substituted group. Okay, now here you know this is going to be known as ethyl because it has 2 carbons. Yes, while this one has only 1 carbon, so it is going to be known as methyl. So this is the name of the substituted group. Now we know if it is started with the ethyl, it means in this case we have to give the preference to this as per the alphabetical order. Now let's count their carbons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, for 7, what do we write? We are supposed to write the prefix hept. Okay, now but before prefix what we have to write? Before prefix what we have to write? We have to write the substituted group alphabetically. Now let's go on that. So when we are writing it, it should be written as 3 ethyl and 5 methyl. After that you may see the prefix, it is 7, so it's going to be hept. And all the carbons are again having what type of bond? They are having again single covalent bond, so it is written as heptane. So its name is going to be 3 ethyl 5 methyl heptane. So that's all about the rules. If you are having any query about it, don't forget to send me an email. Okay, let's try one more. So in this what we are having, if we are trying this one, let's go. So we have already decided we will do the numbering from this side: 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we are having 10 carbons. If you remember, we have already discussed the same example. If you will count it even from here, you are going to get the 10 carbons. But why do we have choose this one? Because here we are having 10 carbons with more substituted group. This has more side chain. It has in total 3 side chains. Yes, so now let's do the naming of this. We have already got our substituted group. We know its name is going to be methyl. Its name is also going to be methyl. This is a repeated group. It comes to you 2 times. So what do you write? You can write it as, of course, 3,3-dimethyl. But let's count about this as well. Let me change the color. Here we are having 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 carbons with 1 substituted group, that is ethyl. Okay, as these 4 carbons are also coming to you as a side chain, so it should be written as butyl in total because it's also a side chain. That's why. Now let's write down the name of all these substituted group. Now when I'm going to write down their name, how it comes to you? It comes to you like this: 3,3-dimethyl, then 5 bracket open, we will write 2-ethyl butyl decane, because we know for 10, if we are having 10 carbons, which prefix we would use? We would use dec for how many carbon atoms? If you are having 10 carbon atoms. So that's why I have used dec here. Along with that, why I have written in? Because they are having single covalent bond throughout. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share.